anything but Star Wars. Give me the Star Wars. Don't let them end.
Bienvenidos, worldwide fans of our planet's hottest entertainment with an edge from a galaxy far, far away. Jaime En Fuego here, welcoming you to my namesake program once more, Enfuegotainment. And yeah, just call me Fuego for short. And this is more of my continued canon coverage of Star Wars. And this is one of the weirdest entries that we're going to be covering, probably aside from the Star Wars Holiday Special that I have previously done on this channel. This review is not going to be as in-depth as that, but nonetheless, I had to eventually talk about the two Ewok films that were made, both made for television, both aired on ABC in November of '84 and '85 respectively, and this is the first one that was originally called an Ewok Adventure, and then it was eventually, upon its international limited theatrical release, rebranded as Caravan of Courage and Ewok Adventure. So here we go. Boy, is this silly. This one I had not seen previously, actually. I had seen the sequel, Battle of Endor, when it initially aired, and I was very, very young. I mean, I was maybe like I don't even know if I saw it upon its original airing. Maybe I saw a home VHS release of it or something, but bottom line, I remembered the witch and I remembered the kid, you know, Sindel and stuff, and so that one I had like vague recollections of, but Caravan of Courage I'm pretty much sure that I had never watched, and I actually have this. Check it out. Yeah, they actually did a dual release at one particular time many years ago, so it's got both films on this particular DVD. And so yeah, I just watched Caravan of Courage and I'm going to check out Battle of Endor afterwards. But whereas Endor, if I remember, the stakes were a little bit higher, this definitely did not feel that way, and you have, well, essentially very, very basic story, insanely basic story, in fact, that Georgie put together. So a year and a half after Return of the Jedi, it's November of '84, and as opposed to doing a half-hour special, ABC was up for doing a 2-hour, movie of the week sort of thing, as they used to do back then. So ironically, Disney owning ABC, this was Fox and Disney all working together long before we all know what eventually ended up happening. But yeah, kind of ironic in that regard. But no, this does not stream on Disney Plus. Neither of these two films do. And but Georgie was like, I want to continue milking my brand and stuff, because Star Wars popularity had gone through the roof over the course of the release of the trilogy. So he was like, okay, we're gonna do an Ewoks cartoon, which they started the following year, and the aforementioned Caravan of Courage. So story's very basic. You've got this family that crash lands on the moon of Endor, although it's funny, on the back of this DVD it says, in Caravan of Courage, the blah blah family was separated when their spacecraft crashes on Endor. It's not Endor, it's the moon of Endor. They don't even get it right on the goddamn official Star Wars release. But nonetheless, you know, purists aside and whatnot, and silliness of that regard. So family crash lands, they get separated, the two kids are lost, parents end up getting captured by this actually pretty dope looking giant creature named Gorax, apparently, as he is known by the Ewoks, and Ewoks are scared of this big old dude. They have never safely ventured and returned from going over to his side of the moon, but yes, parents are captured by this pretty dope looking creature, and yet the two children are found hiding in the spacecraft by the Ewoks. They initially take the kid into custody. Mace, the little boy, he's a little shit, man. He is so annoying throughout the entirety of this film. He's a little brat. He's very mean to the Ewoks throughout most of it. Of course, you'd probably imagine he's going to have an arc and eventually grow to really appreciate their assistance and stuff. But his sister Sindel, who's this very, very adorable little blonde girl with curly hair and stuff, and she's got like the headband on, you know, very 80s attire and stuff. But yeah, so she's sick. The Ewoks nurse her back to health, and then in turn they agree to help these two kids go and try to help their parents. And they just do a lot of walking through a lot of cool terrain, and that's about it. It's really the extent of what transpires. And it's just beyond silly in the fact that we've got Ewoks speaking English in this, Wicket saying "Stop Cruiser" and stuff. It's just, you could not go any more kiddie with a lot of this. But I will say the creatures are cool for the most part. There's this weird like tree snake creature thing. Mace walks up to this hole in the tree and he thinks there's this cute little furry thing, puts his arm in for whatever dumbass reason, and then turns out there's this huge like snake looking thing, and they've got to yank his arm out of its mouth, and his arm is all mangled and like burned and bit looking and stuff. So we also get a spider creature that it's on par with the silliness of the spider in the It miniseries that came out a few years later. So it's definitely, that's one of the weaker looking creatures. But I mean, I must say, all of the Ewoks, Jedi is my favorite. So I love Ewoks, even in this cheesy, very dumbed down for kids more so manner. So I still like the Ewok stuff. I don't know about Ewoks hang gliding and stuff, because we get that at one particular point. But I mean, I don't know. I understand why this is kind of a sore thumb and something that Disney tries to hide away, and why it's not on their streaming service, because I mean, when the kid, there's one particular point where they go to like the ancient Ewok elder who had like the bird hat in Jedi, and he's trying to help them find their parents, and he does so, he's got this top, and it's a magic top, and he spins the top, and they see where his parents are being held in the top. And Mace, the annoying little brat boy, is just like, it looks like a monster or something real big! And you're just like, facepalm, why? God, why? So yeah, I mean, Sindel, she's not particularly terrible or anything, and the parents, when we do actually get them, which isn't for very much of the movie, they're fine, you know, it's fine. But yes, I can understand why this movie is kind of hidden away, although it did get an official release. I don't know if this is, I know it was out of print for a while, but then it was a little bit easier for me to find it on eBay. I remember seeing it in some of the like resale stores, like Zia Records here in the deadly desert of Arizona, and they had it for like $50, but then I was able to find the same thing on eBay for a much more reasonable price. I think I found it for like under $20. So as a Star Wars completist who plans to review the Endor movie, and I'm also going to check out that Ewoks cartoon and the corresponding Droids cartoon. They did a release of both of those actually, but it condensed the episodes into like single stories and omitted a bunch of them apparently, although I guess they all are floating around on either eBay or other online destinations, so that's a possibility. So, but at the end of the day, for a first time watch of Caravan of Courage, I can't say I recommend this, but as a novelty and as somebody, if you're somebody who wants to check out every bit of Star Wars coverage and stuff, and these films apparently are not canon anymore, they're considered legends, at least from what I was reading. Now, who knows, maybe that's not quite the case, but I think Wikipedia and various other spots said that yes, they are legends, along with those cartoons that I just mentioned also being legends as well. So because they did have some factors from a couple, boy, I think maybe the Endor movie, the witch from that, she showed up on like the cartoon, or maybe was mentioned in one of the Legends novels or something, I don't know. But bottom line, Caravan of Courage, disappointing, silly, made for kids, but it did have some bright spots here and there. If you like Ewoks, it's got some, you know, decent creature effects here and there, but you know, the kids are relatively annoying, especially the older brother. And also, it's a paper-thin plot, and not really a lot happens. And I mean, that's really, I guess, all that you need to know here in that regard. But if you are a collector and a completist, as I mentioned, you can probably track this down for a relatively reasonable price. So, gracias everybody for tuning in. I have been Jaime En Fuego, and y'all can find moi on all social media sectors like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, here on the YouTubies, just like you see below at Jaime En Fuego. And yeah, I've done a ton of Star Wars coverage since relaunching this channel a little over a year ago. So I've been going through lots of the novels, Dooku Jedi Lost, Master and Apprentice, Lords of the Sith, A New Dawn. So basically, at least as far as my reads of the comics and of the novels and such, I'm right in that period between Sith and A New Hope, so, which is actually currently my favorite era like ever of Star Wars as far as a time period goes, because Rogue One, in my estimation, is the best thing that Disney has done since taking over Lucasfilm. And so yeah, lots of Star Wars stuff for you to open your eyes and your ears to here, but I also do lots of drama and indie coverage, comedies, occasionally some sci-fi. But the one thing I don't cover here is spectacular stuff, because I have a much bigger channel that I'm a part of called The Horror Show, youtube.com/The Horror Show channel, just like you see spelled below there. That's where we do film, television, and video game reviews. I have a weekly Stephen King show called Hail to Stephen King. Yeah, trailer reactions, unboxings, let's plays, makeup tutorials. We used to do a lot of convention coverage when that was still a thing, but the world is weird right now, as everybody knows, so that is still a thing as well. But yeah, gracias everybody. If you want to see what was going down with the Ewoks between episodes 5 and 6, I tracked down Caravan of Courage and Battle of Endor. But that's going to do it for today, everyone, and until the Reel of Ka, I should say, comes around once more, hasta luego, Cinemigos, and constant viewers and readers alike. But I'm hopeful that we get to share more of this film palaver sooner rather than later, and obviously, until then, may the Force be with you.